Alberta, where the ruling party can fail for years, but they will always cry, but the NDP. Hey, Alberta leftist here. About to, I don't know, maybe make you guys think a little bit here. So let's think together, shall we? Alberta has historically been a conservative province. Okay, when it comes down to the policies, we are resource driven, mainly oil and gas, because why diversify? Why? Why diversify? Let's just continue to rely on an unstable market, right? That makes so much sense, doesn't it? Anyways, and I think the NDP winning in 2015 was seen as a fluke. And I think Albertans took it really personally, like some kind of threat to their conservative identity, you know? Which is wild that you would wrap around your whole personality and identity around a political party, but that's for another time. And I think that memory till this day still really stings a lot of these conservatives. I don't know. I call that emotional, but whatever. Do keep in mind that when the NDP took power, there was an international market crash for oil and gas out of the province's hands, right? How weirdly timed was that, eh? At the same time, Danielle Smith and the Wild Rose Party was able to split the Conservative vote, enabling the NDP to take over right when there was a collapse in the market. Interesting. Interesting. And now Danielle Smith is the leader of this province, continuing to blame the NDP, even though it was, 6 years ago that they left office, for her shortcomings. I believe for most Albertans, those 4 years of the NDP had nothing to do about their policies and had everything to do with them feeling threatened that their political identity as a province was no longer a thing. And that's real big sad for a lot of people that allow politics to dictate their entire lives, right? And the UCP to this day are still looking back at the NDP and blaming them for everything because scapegoating a fictional boogeyman will always work because it taps into the emotional aspect of politics. And we know there's a lot of conservatives out there that are emotionally connected to their political party. That tactic, unfortunately, works really well, and the UCP has been using it since they came into office. They ran on it, and they're continued to this day using it as a way to distract and unify their base against a previous leader or the feds. Because as long as they can keep their base pointing the finger at somebody else, they don't have to work for your vote. They don't have to do nothing. They don't have to improve your lives. They've been struggling with affordability, corruption, and all this other stuff. But yet, NDP bad. Yet, let's blame the NDP, right? Or the feds, like big bad Ottawa. Don't look at what we're doing. Don't look at our failures. Don't look at our shortcomings. Don't look at what we're doing with your taxpayer dollars or that we're mismanaging your guys' systems. Just look at the fact that the Fed's bad and we're sitting on a surplus while we watch our social systems crumble. Reminder that Danielle Smith is still under investigation for the AHS scandal. How convenient that now she's like siding with the separatists for more distraction and rage. It just amazes me how many people are easy to manipulate like that just by tapping into their identity and their emotions in regards to their political affiliations and values. That would be like a sports team blaming their underperformance on a coach that they had 6 years ago, even though they've had multiple coaches since then to help their team perform better. But it just never happened, right? So let's just keep blaming that coach from years and years and years ago when they were given an economy that was already collapsing, right? Kind of like out of their hands a little bit. Now, with that all being said, I'm not saying that the NDP was like the best of the best. I don't think any political party is the best of the best, to be honest with you. But blaming every single thing on a 4 short year term when this place has been run historically before and after by conservatives. It's just nonsense to me. It's irrational. It's like, you guys, a lot of these conservatives want to call themselves the common sense party, but where is the common sense in completely ignoring what your current government is doing, right? And just constantly pointing to the history. Oh, well, I know the Conservatives have been in here for what, 80 plus years, but those 4 years of NDP just ruined this whole province. It seems like a lot of today's Conservatives have a short term memory for Conservative failings, but a long term memory for the NDP failings. Pretty wild, eh? That Conservatives are more likely to forgive their own team, right? Even though they've been failing miserably this entire leadership and before, but refuse to give just an ounce of grace or forgiveness to a very short term political party that, like, barely had any time in office. Come on now. Compared to the ruling party, Alberta, where the ruling party can fail for years, but they will always cry, but the NDP. Like, could you imagine failing for years as a ruling party and still just blaming a 4 short-year term for everything wrong in this province, right? It's like Conservatives are allergic to accountability and addicted to excuses. So there's that. Be angry all you want in the comments. I don't care. You will never, ever, ever convince me. Otherwise, you will never be able to tell me that the UCP is doing anything good for this province, because they haven't. Okay? And if you truly think so, where? Where? Stop blaming everybody else for what the UCP has done. Okay? Last time I checked, it wasn't the Liberals that uncapped insurance. That was a Conservative thing, right? I think a lot of you guys really need to take a class in civics and actually understand the different levels of government and what their responsibilities are. Or, keep staying in that groupthink mentality and don't think for yourself. Because I know that's a comfortable spot for a lot of you guys. So here's the evil leftist signing off. Bye.